That's a fact. That's Lawrence.
No more room in hell. The dead will walk here.
What's up, you guys? It's your boy, Ricky Grimes. Horror Fiend TV, you're watching the Three Corners of Horror. Your favorite Boricuas. I'm going to introduce to you first the man, the myth, the legend, J fucking R. What up, my brother?
Hey, man, it's another film, 2023 film, Spoonful of Sugar, or, I don't know, was a little salty.
Joe the psychologist. I'm fucking with you, Joe. What up, Joe? How are you, man?
What's up? I'm good. You know, we'll find out. I mean, it could just be saccharin.
Dude, when I was younger and I used to buy like equal packets I love sugar back in the day. And I found out what saccharin did to you. Never again, bro. So
Yeah.
I haven't heard saccharin in like 30 years, bro.
I was trying to figure. I told Adam. I'm like, what's fake sugar? And he's like, Splenda. I'm like, no, what's it made out of? He said another name.
I looked for it in bubblegum too, because I ate a lot of bubblegum as a kid, and look for that saccharin, son. Oh my. What we're going to be talking about tonight is going to be the 2023 Shudder exclusive film Spoonful of Sugar. This is directed by Mercedes Bryce Morgan, and it stars Morgan Saylor as Millicent, Kat Foster as Rebecca, Michael Oliver as Jacob, and Danilo Crovetti as Johnny. Joe, Millicent, what was her intentions, man? Because this chick was like all over the place in this film, but she was quite the character. So her intentions with this family, how did this bring the story forward?
Honestly, look, the movie was predictable for me. So when she showed up, like obviously she was there for an intent. It kind of reminded me, which is one of my favorite, like especially on a Sunday, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. It made me think of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Which
that's a good shout.
Far better. Watch The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Rebecca De Mornay fucking nailed that. But you know, she was obviously coming in to take control of the family, and as you watch the movie, and if one of you guys will bring it up, you realize it's a set pattern that she has kind of going. But as far as her intentions, the intentions were pretty obvious. I mean, she's there to become the mother in a family. Not much more I can say on that.
Yeah, how about you, man? What did you take about, like, what did you take from it as far as her intentions?
So they want to know what was your intent. I mean,
we're gonna have to deal with that.
I mean, you know,
with her mouth open too.
She's there in shock. So yeah, it was definitely in Ross the Cradle. It was somebody who basically she wanted to be one. She wanted to fit in. She never fit in wherever she wanted, and she was obviously through a couple of foster cares because the person she's staying with now, you thought it was her dad. It felt like more than just her dad. So she kind of played certain parts in order to feel a certain like sense of security. Now she goes into the family, and the first thing she notices, I mean, this will go later on to like the kind of twist into this towards the end. But you know, she was trying to play the family without realizing that she was part of the play as well, which I thought this was a good twist of the film, because I thought Hannah Rocks the Cradle all the way through. But then when you get to the end, you're like, oh, okay, all right. But I mean, she wanted basically to fill the role of the mother in the family, because the person who was the mother was not filling the role properly. He had this crazy effort behind me. I tell you, kids in freaking horror movies are creepier than adults. But you know, she thought she was doing everything for this kid, and therefore replacing the mother. And then you had a sexually frustrated husband who was basically looking for somebody else too. But was it really her intention in this, or was it the family's intention of what happened in this film?
I think it's more of a coincidence as far as the two people, or the two, I guess, twists, if you want to call them that. We'll get into that later. But it's with Millie's story. her background plays a big role into it too, coming from a foster parent to foster parent, and they all abused her along the way, fucked up her psychosis.
Also orphan.
Orphan, yes, absolutely, yeah, good shout.
Yeah.
Orphan, without minus being the orphan, she was the babysitter.
Yeah.
In this case. But
So that's what I took about it. That's what I took out of it, and especially considering the fact that she's in school and that's what she's studying is kids with these super like, oh my god, I would never want to have all those allergies, man. Like, kid, you're stuck. But you're the boy in the bubble at that point. But that's why she took interest in this child in general, because she did not like the way he was being, like, I guess, taken care of by his mom, and she thought she could do better. And like you said, get rid of the mom, seduce the dad, take over that family. But the LSD is something that I want to touch upon, because this is where I had a bit of a little issue with the film. It's just, I need to know more. JR, the use of LSD in this film, what did you take out of it? Because when I just found like it was more like, it didn't make much sense to me. I don't know what doctor just hands out LSD and those droplets like that. Is that possible?
I'll answer it, Mike. Junior can go first.
Yeah.
The psychologist will answer that.
The psychologist on board for this one, because that's what threw me off, man. So, JR, what's up, man? What you got?
The LSD for me is more of a control for her. Is the only way she could have controlled everything she was doing. Without the drug, she had no control of her actions. She had this rage, this violent side of her that will come out. But with the LSD, it had the different effect. She always did the LSD before she went to the family's house. So she was constantly in control when she was there. To the point where, remember, the way she started controlling the kid a little bit was giving him a little bit as well.
And the kid, medication, right?
Yes, and the kid was more controlled as well. So when we figure LSD is a drug. It makes you hallucinate. It makes you basically go into a different world. But this way of it made her world seem more real instead of the escape that usually LSD does for many people. So she had to take it to be in control, because remember, there's that one scene where she's in a house and she's trying to take it. She had nothing left. She starts freaking out because she knows if she doesn't take it, that the real her is going to come on, and the real her she can't control. So she was freaking out to the point where she had to go get it.
And who's the real her?
The real her is the one that's basically dying to be in a family, to the point where the real her wants to be loved. The real her wants to have that foundation, wants to have that sense of security around. Because remember, there's a scene where she's sitting there with a psychiatrist, and she says, "Will I ever have a family? Will I ever have a baby?" And he couldn't even answer the question to her. He tried to answer it to a certain ways, like most psychologists do. but he couldn't even answer her that question because he couldn't even give her that guarantee that she's going to have a normal life. So for her, the LSD was, in a way, her way of having a normal life.
What year did this movie take place in?
2023.
So no, not when it came out.
2023.
Okay, so it's
it's current.
Joe, like when she was at her psychiatrist, just again, when he giving them LSD like that, is that how they prescribe it?
This therapy is actually starting to get revisited again. It was something that was done back in the day, like I think like the 60s and the 70s. I don't know if it was with LSD, but I know that MDMA, ecstasy, for example, was being used back then. It was help with people with depression. So with psilocybin therapy, which now is magic mushrooms, I'm sure you guys have heard magic mushrooms. That's a new therapy. What you're supposed to do is dose yourself the way that she was dosing herself. But you have to dose yourself to the point to not get you to where you're hallucinating.
Yeah, that's what they.
And as you saw, she was dosing herself to the point where she was hallucinating and not telling the doctor what was going on. And he told her that we have to control it so you don't hallucinate. So she was already having hallucinations. Her LSD, I would not even think of as something, that I would do in a therapy.
It's crazy.
The magic mushroom, I'd be okay. This is difficult to discuss this because I can't say too much of any of my own experiences on things. But LSD is just a little bit harsh compared to mushroom. And anybody who's done both can understand that, like, the effects that you have from both of them, whereas you get the hallucinations, you get the highness from it, you know, the LSD tends to be stronger. So the therapist prescribing it was kind of a little bit shady.
Kind of.
Yes. So, you know, with the psilocybin therapy, that's done for depression, addictions, OCD, and psychosis.
PTSD, right?
And PTSD.
Yeah.
So it you understood why he was giving it to her, but you know, as you watch the movie, you realize that, you know, she's a freaking grifter herself. So she was taking this, and she was herself taking it to the point to be high from it. She wasn't doing it for the therapy situation. And then her giving it to the little boy by dropping it on his medications. Well, you don't know what that medication is, what the LSD is going to affect the medication. You don't know what it's basically going to do to this kid's reaction. Yeah. So, you know, honestly, the use of LSD was a bit of a fucked up thing to use in this movie, to be honest with you. It's kind of why I wanted to make sure we kind of brought it up when we discussed it. But the magic mushroom, you know, I'm not against LSD because of this fucking movie. Is definitely something that you wouldn't want to do. Listen, one of the best ones, and totally like a little bit off our topic, if you ever want to see a movie that does what LSD would look like, is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Johnny Depp.
That movie will pretty much show you what it's like if you were to actually do LSD, which is why this movie, no. I mean, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas pretty much shows you what can happen if you do LSD.
It felt so fake to me. Like, oh my God, there's no way someone's walking around just drinking this shit. Like, it's prescribed. I don't understand. Anyway, overall, man, like,
all right.
What did it do for you?
So, guys, don't judge me on this, but I'm a sucker for a Sunday, like, Lifetime movie day. And every once in a while, they do this series called The Wrong. You know, like the wrong cheerleader, the wrong teacher, the wrong babysitter. So this movie was, for me, kind of like just a Lifetime movie on acid. It was predictable. Like I figured out the parents, figured out the kid, especially when they brought up, you know, the other babysitters. So like for me, honestly, like I said, I'm watching it and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like a Lifetime movie except on acid, and you get the violence at the end.
You don't see titties in Lifetime movies though.
You do it. They're in yoga outfits.
Oh man,
you know. But anyway, but I mean, the movie was slow, and you know, I brought up The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. So, you know, the minute you think of a movie that's a little bit far superior, then you start trying to like do comparisons. But like I said, for me, this was like a Lifetime movie. And, you know, if I were to call it one, it'd be like The Wrong Trippy Babysitter.
Damn, that's a good title right there, bro.
And I would watch that one too, by the way. Yeah. If I see that it was on Lifetime, I'd totally be down for that one.
The parents were more screwed up than the babysitter, I thought. Here you have a mom who can't, I mean, you knew eventually was, you know what it reminded me of? If you watch South Park, there was an episode of South Park where I think it was, oh my God, one of the kids, I think Stan, had a goldfish. So every time somebody would come to the house, the fish would kill the person. But when the mom walks into the room, she's like, oh no. And she'll grab the body. Oh, he's such a good boy. He's such a good boy. Dragging the body to the backyard and basically burying the body. So the backyard was full of basically bodies of who she thought her kid was killing, but in reality it was the fish. But these parents basically saw like babysitters who were in foster care, who people didn't care about, who were basically not going to be missed if they disappeared, and they used them to basically feed their kids' hunger for killing. I mean, think about all the parents went through. They allowed themselves to get stabbed. They allowed themselves to get bit. The mom had an issue because she would cut herself in the bathroom. And so you have
Yes, I
a
forgot
movie
about that.
full of people with psychological problems. Even not this is where it's going to go a little crazy. Even the husband, Johnny, who tried to portray himself as the innocent one, how many of these babysitters were minors that he was probably? So now you got this whole thing where this whole thing is just a sick, twisted, demented thing. I mean, you want to believe the babysitter was the villain in this, when in reality, the family were the villains, and the babysitter was just a victim because she was too drunk.
She was a serial killer, bro.
Who?
She was a serial killer.
Millie was a serial killer.
But but the family was more worse. The family was worse than she was.
Well,
because when you see it, I told you watch the end credit scene where you see all of the bodies one by one.
Oh, I didn't see that.
At the end credit scenes when they go into credits, you see all the babysitters are buried in the backyard.
But how about
all of them?
I didn't see
it. That's why they have to buy the property behind the house, and they're going to do a citrus grove.
Yeah, I caught that. I just didn't know that. If it's not a Marvel movie, I don't stay for the credits.
Oh yeah, as soon as the credits come
up,
I
found that out by accident. Quite honest with you, I walked away, and it was on both TVs, and I was putting. I'm like, what the? There's more.
Yeah, there's more. All the different babysitters that this kid took care of that basically were killed.
How many people do you think Millie killed? I mean, all her foster parents, I'm assuming, right? Because she had a mark in their journal.
Like 4 or 5, maybe.
Yeah, and then she had the
well, she killed it. She killed a psychiatrist. So I'm sorry. He came off as like, I thought they had a thing going because he broke every freaking guideline.
He was weird. He was weird.
Well, just even the way he did his therapy with that little small room thing, like that was a little bit. Especially if you're gonna give somebody LSD.
He put his hand on her back too.
Yeah, there was
showed you that.
Shit. Everybody in this film has psychological problems.
Yeah, there's no one's likable in this film. Nobody. No. The person I hated the most was the mother. Oh,
I mean, honestly, I thought it was when I first saw her. I thought it was Isla Fisher. I'm like, wow, she looks like Isla Fisher a little bit.
Isla.
Who?
Isla.
You say Isla, I say Isla. You say tomato, I say tomato.
And if you would have gone to her, hey Isla, she would have gone Isla.
And I'd be like, all right, I guess I'm not a fan of yours anymore.
And the end of the day, what did the LSD add to this film? Really, the kid opened up to her. Is that it? It just, I don't know, man. It was too much of that. Right, fellas, let's wrap it up. JR, let's do it. We're gonna go with you first, sir. You brought this up. What are you gonna score this film? And anything else you want to add to it? Now's the time, brother.
I'm gonna give this film a 3. I mean, that's as far as I can go. Either high or low. For me, it's like right in the middle. I didn't see the trailer for this film. You know, unfortunately, once again, Rotten Tomatoes scores the film high, and we kind of come back and calm down. But this was not a TV-14.
Okay.
So therefore,
it was a Lifetime movie.
It was in TV-14. You're never gonna get away from Malaysia. We will never forget. Yeah, but this movie, I wanted more from it, and I wanted more of a back history of the Millie character. This movie, I felt like they could have went. All right, here. When I do too much, they could have probably flipped this movie around. You know, if they would have basically started from the beginning on how this kid's messed up and how this kid has a track record of killing people, and then you introduce this new babysitter who has her own track record of killing people too, I think it would have tied the movie a little bit better.
Yeah, I probably would have liked that better. Because
now you have a family who's basically feeding their kid's appetite for blood, and then you have a babysitter who is looking to be part of it, you know, a family who wants to be in a family who will do whatever it takes to, you know, be part of that family. So kind of, it would have killed that whole, when you think of Hand Rocks the Cradle, because it started too much like that from the beginning. But yeah, for me, you would have flipped the ending in the beginning. I think it would have been a better film. But yeah, definitely a 3. I mean, it's not one of the terrible ones we've done.
We've seen worse.
Yeah. But I mean, there's only probably one that's probably worse than this. Even that one that's worse than this I Am Lisa's probably better than, but that's last year. This is this year.
I Am Lisa's bit better than this one. You said?
No, I Am Lisa's better than the one we
the
did.
other one. I know. That's why I'm
The
laughing too.
T14.
I'm sorry, I'm lost.
You know, the Malaysia one. You know,
Possessing? Oh, that's what you said, Malaysia. I get it.
Yeah. Like I said, this was for me a Lifetime movie. Literally a Lifetime movie. Hand that rocks the cradle. Plot holes left and right, because you later on saw that the therapist that Millicent was looking at was seeing was also giving therapy to Johnny. So then you also had the fact that Millicent was a serial killer, and did she seek her therapist to then, like, it's kind of what, like, there were so many plot holes in the movie. And then here's another part, because I was waiting to see if you guys noticed, but the mom started talking about an aunt who took the child away. So Rebecca wasn't Johnny's mother. She was his aunt. And Jacob wasn't his father, which is why he's trying really hard to love this kid. You guys can want to waste your time and rewatch it again, but I literally peeped the fact that Rebecca said about an aunt who took a child away, and she was talking about Johnny. So they're not even the parents. She's a little bit, that's right. They're all, she has the cutting thing. He's obviously, as JR said, probably a, childhood predator with, the babysitters. So it's a group of dysfunctional, with obviously a lot of psychological problems that all happen to come together in this 2.5 of a movie for me.
I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. This is a 2.5 as far as a film is concerned, but I can't deny, and I gotta admit, there was stuff I liked about it. I love the score in this film, very unsettling, and the music cues always give you hints of what was coming up, but it was in a subtle way. If you go, I know you're not gonna go back and watch it. You said it, but I went back and watched most of it again just to clear some things up, and I noticed it the second time a lot. Like, damn, the music in this movie is pretty good, because it's very subtle, and it's like I said, it's very unsettling. Like, it's when you watch it. What's that? Also, as well, the visuals very trippy. Of course, it's an LSD film, so it has to be. I don't like it when they go overly, like when he's watching the bunnies running around the paintings and shit. I didn't like any of that. But as far as the imagery and camera work and the colors that pop, this film's a very muted film, but when they introduce color to it, it works. Like when she's talking to herself in the mirror and she goes in and kisses the mirror and she's just
goes back
talking. Yeah, the analogy with the lollipop.
And she's hallucinating and tripping on her acid.
Yeah, that was a great scene. I could watch the scene over and over, because when I saw the second time, huh?
What? No.
What you said?
I said, not that I know.
Oh,
thanks, Rick.
Yeah, I think the cinematography, camera work, and again the color palettes they use for certain scenes, I think that's the real strength of this film. It's a beautiful film to look at and to listen to, because it doesn't go over the top. But like I said, with the score, it's subtle, but it's really fucking cool when you see it pieced together like that. It's the story, the characters, and the plot around it I just couldn't get into. Guys, anything else you want to bring up before we close this one out?
Just one more thing.
Yes, sir.
The acting wasn't bad in this film. Fortunately, like I said, they would have flipped it over, because if you have characters that make you hate them, for me, those actors are doing a good job. But I thought the acting was pretty... For this film, the mother was good. I mean, the father was, your typical...
She was a MILF too, bro.
She was attractive. But I thought the characters were good, because there wasn't a massive ensemble of characters.
No, you're right. It's small.
Yeah.
Intimate.
Which is
very intimate, yeah.
Fortunately, use my idea. Flip the story next time. That's it.
How about you, Joe?
I mean, that's about it, except for the fact, if you guys are watching this Thursday, watch out for the live.
That's right. Let's pump it right now. Evil Dead Rise. We're going to do an amazing live stream. The first ever Horror Fiend TV presents The Three Corners of Horror. Our live review. We're going to review it live. So if you've seen the movie, come in. There's going to be spoilers. If you haven't seen it, Don't blame us. But
Yeah, no, it's all your fault.
yeah, we're gonna have some.
I
We're
know.
gonna have some special guests, and we're gonna talk everything Evil Dead. So with that being said, I'm Ricky Grimes. That's my boy JR. That's my main man Joe, the psychologist. Be good, be well, stay safe. Most of all, stay motherfucking scared. Peace.
Groovy.